Okay, there's 16 groups I want to talk about, and this first group is the 12th group. So we're going to say the first group. So we're just going to talk about the first group. I'm going to call the first group the 12th group, and the first group is called the 12th group. It's Mars, Venus, Moon, and Jupiter. So we're starting out with just this is the first group equals 4. So I'm going to put here equals 4. So we can put it over here actually. Sorry about my lighting, really sucks. Equals 4. So we'll put it right here. Equals 4. Okay, so we'll call this, we'll say that this first group is made of four octaves, or four sharing energies. So what we're going to do is say it starts out as 4th in the first, which is 12th. And it's going to be now going into what it comes to be next, and it'll be what's called the 13th group. And in the 13th group, it's actually the second group. So the 13th group is equal to 3. So it's third equals 3. So I put 3 here. It's third equals to 3 because there's 3. There's the first or 12 starts out with these 4 energies. So Mars, Venus, Moon, and Jupiter. But by the time it moves now into the next 13th group, so I'll draw a separation line between the 12th and 13th group. So 12th group, 13th group. And now I'm going to draw a straight line here down, and I'll draw an arrow of indicator direction so we know the movement of this energy. And it's all moving downward, starting from the top. Okay, so it starts out as Mars and Venus, and then Mars and Venus will blend together and end up the same here. And now what we see here is a first. So I'm going to put here a first. I'm going to put here a second. And I'll put here a third and a fourth. So there's four energies on this first or 12th group. It's comprised of four energies: Mars, Venus, Moon, and Jupiter. And as it comes into as the first and the second blend, it comes into what's called the third. So the third is between the first and the second, actually. And this is how you'll see it. That, in fact, the third is not after 2, it's between 1 and 2. So this third, this will be now where that'll be the first and second become the third. Now where the second and the third blend, it's a blend of Venus and the Moon, and it becomes in the thirds these 3s, which are the energies of Sun, Mercury, and Saturn. So this is what we got here: Sun, Mercury, and Saturn. And now we've gone from And now I'm gonna show you where it's separate. Well, this is the 13th here. The 12th would be up there. You see, there's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 energies. These 4 energies are combining to become 3 energies. Now they're switching. Now they become Mars and Venus becomes the Sun. Venus and Moon becomes Mercury. Moon and Jupiter becomes Saturn. And it's now moving downward, and now we're in thirds instead of fourths. We've converted these energies in movement from 4 different separate energies to 3 different separate energies, which are now all different. And so they're called something different. Now, as this moves into the next one, the 23rd group, it is a singular Mars group by itself. So it's 1, which means I'll draw a separation here, but first I'm going to show you how they blend. It goes back to 1. So it's 4, then it's 3, then it's 1. So how are these going to blend into 1? Well, they have to all blend into 1. So these would come down to the center. And then now I'll draw the separation where the groups now are going to be different. So this is the 13th group. And then this is going to be, so this is the 13th group still. This is the 13th group, all this area right here. And this is going to be the 14th group. 14th group is just Mars energy. And it's the third group we're talking about here. It's Mars energy. And the movement of the energies now back to a singularity, or back to 1 energy. So what we're seeing here, what I'm showing you here, is as these energies move down the line in the direction they're moving, how they change and become what they do. The blending of these, the Sun, Mercury, and Saturn becomes Mars again. It starts out as Mars. Isn't that interesting? And actually the blending of Mars and Venus causes the Sun, but it actually blends back to Mars. That's what I want to show you, is that in the thirds it goes back to a first. So this is a first. The 14th is a first. And now we're gonna look at, it goes back from, now it's called 23rd group, so we call that 23rd group. It's a 1 now. Then it goes up to the 24th group, which is a 3. So a 3, so it goes back to 3. So it splits into 3 again. And the three energies that it splits into, again from Mars, it goes from singular Mars back to Venus, Moon, and Jupiter. So Venus, Moon, and Jupiter. So understand, we're going to look now right here, right? Here's Venus, see? Now we're going to take Venus, and we're going to make I'm going to make a line go down. This is just a broken line, because I want to show you right where Venus is. I mean, my line's not perfectly straight. Here's about where Venus is. So here's Venus. And basically, see, Venus is right there. Now the moon. Here's the broken line of the moon. Roughly, straight as I can make it. I'm making a broken line because this energy is not really there until it gets back to here, moon. And then it'll be a solid line. And it's going to be the placement of these energies. Now you look at Jupiter. Jupiter will make a broken line again, because the broken line represents that the energy is not really here, but I'm actually drawing it, but it's not there. It doesn't exist till it gets way down here again. And I'm showing you right where it is. I'm showing you the exact point of where it is. And now we're going to say Jupiter. So what we know is the exact location of Venus, the moon, and Jupiter, and these 3 sets of broken line are going to be where the lines become solid again. And they will have to, yeah, they become 3 again. This is what they are. So they go from Mars to, so Mars converts to back to 3 separate energies. So in the third now, so now we can see where the group separates now. This is the first group. So this is the first group here, Mars group. It's just this one solid line. So it's a big, thick line. It would be a big, powerful, thick line. Oops, sorry. And sorry, I just really wanted to show people this. It's really interesting. And it would be one thick line, yeah, and it separates back to its original indication. So what I'm going to show you here is another version of it. I'm going to show you another version of how it splits up like this, and how the numbers become. So, all right, so let's say you've got 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Now, what we have here is 4 octaves. We have a first octave, second octave, third octave, and a fourth octave. Now, understand that the octaves, I'm going to show them in representation, they're separated, so they're not together. So these lines represent 4 different octaves, okay? And these octaves represent energies. 1, 2, 3, and 4 could, in this case, will be Mars, Venus, Moon, and Jupiter. Now, I want to show you that how this 1 and 2, this is Mars and this is Venus. See, just like up here, this 1 and this 2. So I'm showing you in a more simple version here that when the 1 and 2 come together and become one line, it's a 12. So 1 and 2 blended becomes a 12 now. It's goes from Mars and Venus to the Sun. So the Sun is the 12. So it's the Sun, the 12. It's an actual 12. Now the 2 and the 3 is actually Venus and Moon, the 2 and the 3 becoming one line, Mercury. And it's actually, we're looking at a mathematical representation of how it would work now. So understand that the 2 and 3 coming together becomes a 23. Because it's a 23, which means it's between the second and the third octave. Second, third octave, first, second, third, fourth. So so the 23 is the positioning between the second and the third octave where it is. And it's actually at that 23, which would be moving in this direction. And then this same idea would be then Jupiter and the Moon coming together, and you have 34. So 34, so these 3 numbers are basically when you have the Mars and Venus sharing 2 different octaves, well then they are 12 instead of a 1 and a 2 in separate octaves. See these octaves, which are separate, when Venus and Mars come together, it becomes a third. And I want you to see where this third is. It's like a pyramid. Do you see where the third is? So it looks like this. A pyramid is 1, 2, and 3. And the third is between the 1 and 2. See that? The movement of the energies would be down. So this is to give you a better understanding by far.